Heavenly Father, we come to you today with humble hearts, seeking your guidance and wisdom as we begin this program. Lord, we ask that you would bless every person who has gathered here today, and that you would be present with us in a special way. We pray that this program would be a time of learning, growth, and fellowship for all of us. Help us to listen to one another with open hearts and open minds, and to support one another as we strive to serve you in all that we do. Please give us the strength and the courage to follow your will and to use the gifts and talents you have given us to make a positive difference in the world. We pray all of this in your holy name. Amen.
Good evening, everyone. Assalamualaikum. It's another day, another learning opportunity na hatid sa inyo ng Scale Up Training and Development. Magandang gabi po sa lahat sa ating participants at dito sa ating Zoom at live din po tayo sa ating Facebook page na Scale Up Training and Development. It's another career development na naman po ang ating i-unlock for tonight. By the way, my name is Diane and I'll be your host for tonight. Before we proceed sa ating webinar proper, let me remind everyone sa ating house rules. The number one house rules, keep your microphone muted as the mentor discuss his presentation para hindi po siya ma-disturb at ang ating co-participants as well. Use the chat box na lang po pag meron kayong katanungan or use the icon, utilize the icon sa baba ng ating Zoom or use the Facebook comment box ating Facebook live stream participants and respect the speaker and the participants as well. Focus po tayo sa ating learning activity for tonight. Stay present and engage. For mamaya, meron tayong attendance and evaluation later on after the presentation of our mentor. Keep your camera on if possible lang po para more engaging and interactive po tayo. Mas maganda po nakikita ni mentor ang ating participant. But kung hindi naman po kayo available to on your camera, okay lang din po. About sa ating certificate-related concerns, mamaya i-discuss natin after the presentation of our mentor or other questions na gusto nyong itanong or clarification, not about the webinar natin tonight or the topic na mentor, i-reserve nyo lang po yan mamaya at sasagutin natin sa ating Q&A later on. And before, let me discuss a little bit about the Career Development 101 hanggang sa 105, the conducted webinars na ating ginanap. The 101 was acing job interviews and building strong interview skills. The second one is a pre-internship readiness webinar. The third one na ating nagandak was about career development for administrative professionals. And the fourth one, career development in the digital economy. And the last one po na ating nakandak is about the pre-employment preparedness webinar. If gusto nyo pong mapanood ang ating previously conducted webinars, mapapanood nyo po ito sa ating YouTube channel, which is same name sa ating Facebook page na Scale Up Training and Development. Or use the link sa baba ng inyong screen sa right side. Save that one. All our webinars, conducted webinars, andyan nyo po makikita. Kung career development ang hinahanap nyo or the other categories or the topic, makikita nyo po dyan lahat. And our guide question for tonight, nasasagutin sa atin na mentor, goes like this. How to build a successful career in office administration through professional development, leadership skills, and continuous learning. Ito yung katanungan na sasagutin sa atin ng mentor for tonight. And sino nga ba ang ating mentor for tonight? Let me introduce to you. Our mentor for tonight holds a Master of Business Administration or MBA with a specialization in human resources and is a certified professional in human resources or the CPHR. He is also a DOLE Accredited Safety Officer 2 or the SO2, a Project Management Essentials Certified Professional, and is currently pursuing a postgraduate course in Occupational Health and Safety or the PG-COSH at the University of the Philippines, Manila. He has also completed the academic requirements for his Doctor of Philosophy or the PhD in Strategic Management of Philippine Christian University, Dasmariñas, and is currently preparing for the institutional examination. Diba? Hardworking masyado ang ating mentor for tonight. Let me welcome to you our mentor for tonight, Professor NORIEL Garcia. Good evening, mentor.
Hello po. Good evening. Kamusta? Kamusta kayo dyan? Pa-thumbs up naman? Pa-thumbs up? Kung andyan pa sila? Ang dami niyo today.
Yes, madami tayong
Ang
tonight.
dami niyo.
And let me end my share screen po, mentor, so you can have the floor.
Sige, sige. Nagulat ako pagpasok ko. Ano na? Ilan na ba to? 52 na agad. Wow! Galing. Anyway, kamusta? Kamusta naman sa inyo? Malakas ba yung ulan? Dito kasi sa Cavite, sobra. Hindi naman ganun kalakas, pero malakas. Ayun. Okay. Medyo ano eh. Ayun. Bad weather. Okay. Share ko na yung screen ko ha. Anong gusto nyo? Tagalog or English? Ha? Wala. Ano talaga? Okay. Ay, sorry. Ito pala may Taglish. Okay, sige. So, pag ini-explain natin, i-ano natin, i-taglish natin. Okay. Ayan, nakikita niyo na yung screen ko. Okay naman. Pa-thumbs up na ako nakikita. Yung ano ko, notes ko, baka nakikita niyo din. Hindi naman. Okay. Sige. Antayin lang natin mag-load ha, para makita natin. Okay. Ayan. Ay, ayun na pala. Okay, kita na. Kita na sa screen. So, start na tayo. Hindi nyo mo nakikita yung Facebook ko dito. Okay. Now, before we begin, I'd like, dalawa po yung monitor ko. So, minsan nakatingin ako dito. Minsan, okay. So, before we begin, good evening po. Before we begin, I'd like everyone to do something with me. Okay. So, for just a few seconds, close your eyes. Close your eyes and then imagine yourself exactly 10 years from today. And then imagine waking up on a Monday morning where are you working? And then what position do you hold? And then who are the people thanking you because of the difference you've made? And then what kind of house do you live in? Ano pa ba? What kind of life you have built for your family? And then, sige, isipin nyo. Ganon. Maganda na yung career natin. Okay na siya. And then, now ask yourself one final question. Did that future happen by a chance? Or because of the decisions you started making today? Okay. So, Yes, you may now open your eyes. And ladies and gentlemen, every successful career begins with a single decision. Not a decision to become a manager, not a decision to earn a higher salary, but the decision to become better than you were yesterday. And that decisions can begin tonight. Hey. And uh, actually, when I was working in human resources, one realization changed the way I look at career forever. I have interviewed thousands of applicants. Some graduated with honors. Some came from prestigious universities, and some had impressive resumes filled with certifications. Yet, yet they struggled during the interview. On the other hand, I met applicants with ordinary resumes, no Latin honors, no expensive schools, no extraordinary background, but they possess something that every organization was looking for: character, humility, willingness to learn. And those were often the people who became supervisors, managers, business owners, and leaders. Because here's the truth: success is rarely about where you start. It is about how committed you are to continue growing. And as a faculty member, I've watched students walk into my classroom uncertain of themselves, only to become professionals who now lead teams and organizations. And also as a DOLE safety officer too, I've learned that organizations don't become excellent because of their buildings or technology. They become excellent because their people continuously improve. And as a speaker, I've had the privilege of meeting professionals from different industries, and despite their different careers, stuff like that, they all have one thing in common. You know what? The people who succeed never stop learning. You see, today we're living in one of the most competitive periods in history. Artificial intelligence is changing workplace. Technology evolves almost every day. Jobs are transforming. Skills become outdated faster than ever before. And then and here's the reality: your greatest job, the job that you have, I mean, that greatest job security is no longer your tenure. It is your ability to learn faster than change. Now, let me ask you something. How many of you want to become successful? Thumbs up if you want to become successful. No one? There. Okay. Okay. How many of you want to become successful? You raise your hand. Okay, there. Now, let me ask a different question. How many of you are willing to become uncomfortable to achieve that success? Hmm? Oh, there. Because success has a price. And sometimes the price is waking up early. Sometimes it's studying while others are sleeping. Sometimes it's accepting criticism. Sometimes it's attending webinars like this instead of scrolling through social media. And then growth has always required sacrifice. Actually, there's a quote that has guided me throughout my entire career. If you, how should I say this? And I quote, if you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. And tonight, we're going to discover exactly what those somethings are. We'll talk about professional development, leadership, psychology, artificial intelligence, career strategies, workplace success, and then mental health resilience. And practical lessons I've learned from years of working in human resources, occupational health and safety, higher education, and corporate training. But more than theories, I want this webinar to become a turning point, because I don't simply want you to leave this session with notes. I want you to leave with a new mindset. So before we begin, we are just starting. Before we begin, I want everyone to remember one sentence throughout our entire webinar. Okay? So your employer may give you a job, but only you can build your career. And tonight, let's start building that career together. And yeah, good evening once again, everyone, and welcome to Career Development 108. 108, Career Growth in Office Administration, how to build a successful career throughout professional development, leadership skills, and continuous learning. So let's begin. Okay. Okay. I hope all of you are doing well today. And once again, I am Professor Garcia, and it is truly my pleasure to be with you as we begin this discussion on career growth in office administration. So before we talked about promotions, leadership, and professional development, I want us to answer one very important question. So what does career growth really mean? You type it there on your chat box. Can I see? There. Okay. You see, many people think career growth simply means getting promoted. They thought about it's just a promotion. Okay. Oh, and others believe it means earning a higher salary. Yeah, although part. Okay. And some believe it means becoming a supervisor or a manager. Right? And while those are certainly part of career growth, they are not the whole picture. Career growth is the continuous process of becoming a better professional. It is about increasing your knowledge, improving your skills, developing your attitude, and expanding your influence. And becoming someone who consistently creates value wherever you work. And also in human resource, we often say companies promote people because of the value they create, not simply because of the time they spent in the organization. My HR experience. Allow me to share one of my experience as an HR practitioner. So throughout my career, uh, I have interviewed thousands of applicants from fresh graduates to experienced managers. And one thing surprised me. The most successful employees were not always the smartest. Yes, you heard me right. The most successful employees were not always the smartest. They were not always graduates of prestigious universities. Some had average grades. Some were shy during the interview, but they possess something more valuable. What is it? What is it? They were teachable. They were willing to learn. They asked questions. They accept feedback, and they consistently improve themselves. And on the other hand, I have interviewed applicants with outstanding academic credentials who struggled because they believe they already knew everything. And one lesson I learned in HR is this: knowledge gets your foot in the door, and attitude determines how far you will go. I want I want everyone to think about this question. If um if you continue doing exactly what you are doing today, where do you think, where will your career be 5 years from now? Type it there in your in our chat box. Correct. Improvement. Improve. Taking more responsibility. Correct. Take a few seconds. Reflect on that. Because the future is built by today's habits. Okay. Let's go to job versus career. Can you follow? Okay ba? Okay naman. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thumbs up if you're still there. Are you there? Okay. 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 Job versus career. So many people can they're confused a job with a career. So a job is something you do to earn income. And career is something you intentionally build over time. That's the difference. Now, imagine this. Two employees, um, they are hired on the same day. Both receive the same salary. And then both perform administrative work. And then, 5 years later, employee A is still doing exactly the same tasks, while employee B has earned certifications, volunteered for projects, learned new software, and then improved communication skills and develop leadership abilities. Now, who do you think has experienced career in their career growth? Employee A or employee B? Okay, exactly. So career growth. Career growth is not measured by time. Career growth is measured by transformation. You see in statistics, according to the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report, I don't know if you're checking news every now and then, but it says there, employees increasingly value analytic thinking, resilience, leadership, uh, technology literacy, curiosity, and lifelong learning as essential workplace competencies. These power skills are becoming just as important as technical expertise because jobs continue to evolve with technology and changing business needs. Now, this tells us something important. The workplace is changing faster than ever before, right? Emojis, I'm right. Okay. Ah, thank you for the heart. And then, okay. Office administration today. Office administration today is no longer, they are no longer limited to filing documents or answering phones. Administrative professionals now coordinate virtual meetings, manage digital platforms, prepare reports, support executives, and analyze information, and anything else. Handle confidential data, communicate with global teams. We have virtual assistants nowadays, right? And in many organizations, they became the backbone of operations. And also, as a faculty member, I always remind my students. I'm always telling them this, that your diploma is your entrance ticket. But your learning should never stop after graduation. Graduation is not the finish line. It is only the starting line. And I have a former students who are now supervisors, HR officers, entrepreneurs, and managers. Question: do you know what they have in common? What is it? They never stop learning. Some attended webinars every month. Some earned certifications. Some learned Excel. And others mastered public speaking. And some improved their English communication. And those small improvements eventually opened bigger opportunities. Makes sense? Okay. We can check that. I'm going to check it. Okay. Oh, okay. There. Okay. Let's go to okay, let's go to career ladder versus career lattice. So many people believe careers only move upward. Pataas. Promotion, supervisor, you're being promoted as a supervisor. Manager, director, vice president. This is called, in HR, we call this career ladder. But today, organizations recognize another path called the career lattice. Correct me if I'm wrong with the pronunciation. Pero, yeah. So, instead of only moving upward, professionals also move sideways. Why? Because every new experience builds additional skill. And An administrative assistant might later work in human resources. Then move into training, then recruitment, then operations, then project management. Each movement increases experience. Each experience increases value. And sometimes moving sideways is actually moving forward. Questions, clarifications. None so far. Violent reactions, none. Okay. Okay, sige. Okay. So the career cycle. Career cycle. So every career goes through stages. We all know that. And learning, performing, growing, and then leading, mentoring, stuff like that. The mistake many professionals make is staying too long in one stage. They become comfortable. They stop learning. And eventually, their career also stops growing. You see, what is comfort? Comfort is beautiful. But growth rarely happens inside your comfort zone. And in psychology perspective, I don't know if you're familiar with the growth mindset. So this is a concept introduced by psychologist Carol Dweck. So it says people with growth mindset believe abilities can be developed through learning, through effort, and persistence. And people with fixed mindset believe talent alone determines success. You think about that. When faced with a difficult task, the fixed mindset will say, I can do this, right? A growth mindset says, I can't do this yet. One small word, yet that word changes everything. Because it reminds us that improvement is always possible. And as a safety officer, allow me to wear another hat. So, aside from being an HR practitioner and a faculty member, I am also a DOLE safety officer too. And ganun lang yung gagawin ko, yung Tagalog na English, kasi may English tayong with accent, yung mga ganun. So, ganun lang gagawin ko para mas makarelate tayo. Sundin ko na lang yung sinabi niya. So, let me emphasize this. Or you want Tagalog? Sige. You raise your hand if you want Tagalog. Or don't want. Okay, go. Sige. So many people think occupational safety. They thought that it only involves hard hats, the white one, sometimes white, sometimes blue, fire extinguishers, or emergency exits. But you see, workplace safety is much broader than that. Safe workplace, it also encourage learning. It also encourage respect and open communication and continuous development. Employees who feel psychologically safe are more willing to ask questions, admit mistakes. Thumbs up if I'm right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And uh, they propose ideas. Those behaviors help individuals grow and help organizations improve. I want I want everyone to ask yourself this three questions. First one, what skills have I developed during the last 12 months? You don't have to write it there in our chat box. Second one, what new knowledge have I gained this year? And if my employer replace me tomorrow, if my employer replace me, yes, I can write today. What unique value would I be remembered for? Listen, employer. Sige, you think about that. You don't have to type it there. Those questions you might think you feel uncomfortable, but they are necessary because growth begins with honest reflection. Okay. Questions, clarifications, violent reactions na. Okay. Now, HR reality check. Can I tell you something I learned after interviewing thousands of applicants? Would that be okay? Great. Companies don't hire the most qualified person on paper. They hire the person they believe can solve their problems. And that's why career growth isn't about collecting years of experience. It's about becoming more valuable every year. Here's an HR secret that many people don't know. Thumbs up if you wanted to hear it from me. No, none. Thumbs up. Are you still there? There. Okay. Okay. So, here's the truth. Experience is important, but relevant experience is what employers actually pay for. And I'm about to say something that might surprise you. Another one. Your degree can get you an interview, and it cannot guarantee you a career. Makes sense. So, as we conclude our first module, I want to leave you with this thought. So, many people spend years waiting for opportunities. Successful successful promotions, professional. They spend those same years preparing for opportunities. Never wait for promotion before acting like a leader. Never wait for recognition before giving your best. And never wait for success before investing in yourself. Because one day, opportunity will knock on your door. And when it does, it will not ask how long have you worked. It will ask you, are you ready? So remember this. Your career is not determined by your job title. It is determined by the value you continuously create, the character you consistently demonstrate, and the willingness you have to keep learning every single day. Now, let's go to another module. Professional. Okay. Good evening once again. Are you still there? Okay. So, uh, let's answer another important question. How how do we actually grow? That will be your next question. Prof, how do we actually grow? Okay. Now, the answer is simple. Through, you want to answer? Okay. Okay. Through professional development. Professional development means intentionally investing in yourself so that your knowledge, skills, attitude, and leadership continues to improve. You notice that I use the word investing because every seminar you attend, just like this seminar, uh, every webinar you complete, every certification you earn, every book you read, every difficult project you accept, those are investments. And like any investment, the returns may not be immediately, but compound over time. Allow me to share another experience from my HR career. I have interviewed applicants with 10 years of work experience, but asking questions, I realized something they didn't actually have 10 years of experience. They had one of experience repeated 10 times. Think about that. For 10 years, they performed exactly the same tasks. They learned nothing new. They never volunteered. They never attended training. They never expanded their responsibilities. Now, compare that to another applicant. Only 3 years of experience, but during those 3 years, she became proficient in Microsoft Excel, learned project coordination, earned certification, yada, yada, yada. Ganon. Now, the one with only three, how should I say this? Do you think, or which applicant do you think received the higher salary? The one with only 3 years? Why? Because employers don't buy years. They buy capability. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Let's go to the formula of career success. I always tell my students, I always tell them, career growth follows a very simple formula. Knowledge plus skills. Sorry. Knowledge plus skills plus attitude plus consistency equals professional value. Let me repeat that. Knowledge, skills, attitude, consistency, those four together create value. Many professionals focus only on knowledge, but organizations, they don't hire people simply because of they know something. Organizations hire people who can apply what they know. Let's go to hard skills and soft skills. So let's begin with the difference. So hard skills are technical abilities. These are measurable. Example, Microsoft Office, Excel, PowerPoint, Google Workspace, business writing, documentation, office systems, and digital filing. These can be learned through training. But now let's talk about something even more important. Soft skills. These are your people skills. Communication, professionalism, adaptability, critical thinking, problem solving, stuff like that. Time management, listening, empathy, yada yada. So, do you know which skills employers struggle to teach? Hmm? We really need to get out of our comfort zone talaga. Oh. Hmm. Okay. So, soft skills. Because software can be learned. Character takers, uh, the character that we are building, it takes years to develop. In statistics, according to the World Economic Forum's the future of jobs, yes, you want to say something? Okay, okay. So in statistics, um, employers employers consistently rank analytical thinking, resilience, flexibility, leadership, creativity, motivation, curiosity, and lifelong learning among the most valuable competencies needed in today's workforce. In LinkedIn workplace learning, they have a research as well. Also, it shows that organizations increasingly prioritize professionals who demonstrate adaptability, communication, and continuous learning, especially as technology transforms the way work is done. Notice something. These aren't purely technical skills. They're human skills. Okay. That's because technology continues to evolve, but people still work with people. Now, in your question, AI will not replace you, or will AI replace us? Let me ask you. Let me ask you this. Raise your hand if you heard someone say artificial intelligence will replace our job. You raise your hand. A lot. Okay. Okay. Almost everyone has heard that, even me. And here is my answer. Okay, more. Okay, here is my answer. AI will not replace professionals who continue learning. You see, AI can write emails, generate reports, summarize documents, they can organize schedules, but AI cannot replace integrity, judgment, empathy, uh, professional relationships, ethical decision making, leadership. See, as someone working in human resources, I can tell you, organizations still hire people, not robots, because people solve human problems. The professionals who thrive will be those who know how to work with AI instead of competing against it. Don't fear it. And also, as a faculty member, one thing I consistently observe is this. The students who consistently improve are not always the highest achievers academically. Let's just say they are the first honor. They are the, what was that? The highest, the one with highest honor, stuff like that. Okay. But sometimes they're simply the most curious. They ask questions, they seek feedback, they volunteer, they participate, and they welcome correction. And professionals develop starts with they start with humility. And if you think you already know everything, you stop growing. Learning requires the courage. You need courage to admit that there is still more discover. I mean, there's more to discover. Okay. Questions, clarifications? None? So far? I will not. Yes po, I will. Okay. Okay, let's go to the 70-20-10 learning module. So let me introduce one of the most respected concepts in learning and development. Learning development is another, it's part of, I could say another umbrella in HR. It is under the umbrella of HR, sorry. Okay. So, the 70-20-10 model, this model suggests that professional growth often comes from the three sources. 70% through experience, doing the work, handling challenges, making mistakes, solving problems, and then 20% through other people, mentors, supervisors, coworker feedback, coaching, networking. And then the only 10% comes from formal learning, seminars, webinars, books. So classroom instruction. And then this means something very this means something very important. And today's webinar is only 10%. The remaining 90% depends on what do you do after we finish. Because for me, knowledge without action changes nothing. Okay. Questions, clarifications, violent reactions, none. Okay po. So, thumbs up if you are still there. If you want to say something, you can ask questions po. Okay. There. So let's go to time management. One excuse I hear from professionals is, I know you've heard this thing every now and then. It's like, I don't have time. Let me challenge that. We all have the same 24 hours. Are we aware of that? We all have the same 24 hours. The difference is not time. The difference is priorities. Successful professionals schedule learning. What they do is they block 30 minutes to read, they watch educational videos, they attend webinars, they practice new software, and small improvements repeated consistently create extraordinary results. 1% better every day. And that is enough. Now, for personal branding, here's another HR secret. Labas na lahat. Okay. Even before you introduce yourself, people already have an impression of you. your emails. Let's say you're applying, so you are replying via email. So they have an impression of you. Your emails, your appearance, your punctuality, your social media, your FB, your Instagram, your communication, and your attitude. Okay, all of these create your personal brand. You can check my FB if you want. My Facebook account, you can check my Facebook account. It's just fine. So your personal brand answers one question. What do people remember when they hear your name? Do they remember someone reliable, professional, positive, organization, or someone who consistently complains? Remember, your reputation arrives before you do. And okay, let's pause for a moment. You ask yourself honestly. You ask yourself honestly. Continuous attending. If you want to say something, you type it here in our chat box. Sobrang ano po yan. Babasahin ko siya. Okay. Again, let's pause for a moment. You ask yourself honestly. When was the last time you invested in your own growth? What skills have you learned this year? What certification are you planning to earn? And what book have you finished reading books recently? And what feedback have you applied? And you see, growth begins with intentional choices. Can I be honest with everyone? Okay. Okay. The employers, sorry, the employees who receive the most opportunities are usually not the ones who know everything. They're the ones who never stop learning. And HR truth. Here's what recruiters never tell applicants. We're not impressed by the number of seminars you've attended. We're impressed by how you've applied what you learned. Again, we're not impressed by the number of seminars you've attended, but we are impressed by how you applied what you've learned. You see, certificates don't change careers. Applied skills do. As an HR practitioner, I have hired employees. As a faculty member, I have taught future professionals. And as a safety officer, I have seen how competent, well-trained people help create safer and stronger workplaces. Across all those roles, one truth has one truth remained constant. The people who succeed are not necessarily the ones with the highest IQ. They are the ones who never stop improving. Your diploma may help you get first opportunity. Your skills will help you keep it. Your attitude will determine whether you grow. And your commitment to lifelong learning will determine how far you can go. So don't wait for your employers to invest in your future. Anyway, it's your future, right? Start investing in yourself today because every skill you learn, every book you read, every seminar you attend, and every challenge you accept is this is building a future version of yourself that today's opportunities may not yet be able to recognize. But tomorrow's opportunities will be searching for. Okay. Next slide. Questions, clarifications? None. Okay. Okay. Now let's talk about the biggest misconception in the workplace. Okay. Dapat po anong natutunan sa webinar na we attend ay marapat, wow, marapat na i-apply ito sa daily work at ma-share sa ibang, correct. Re-echoing the seminar you attended might give you them also a learning from what you, correct. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about one of the biggest misconceptions in the workplace. So many people say, I'll become a leader once I become a supervisor. Or when I'm promoted, that's when I'll start acting like a leader. Ouch. But let me tell you something I learned after years in human resources. Organizations, they don't promote people so they can become leaders. Organizations promote people because they are already demonstrating leadership. Let me repeat that. Leadership comes before promotion, not after it. Okay. Questions, clarifications? None so far. Type lang po dyan sa chat box. Okay. Let's begin with a simple question. What comes to your mind when you hear the word leader? Okay. What comes to your mind? Maybe good listener. Okay. Okay. Maybe you picture a CEO, a manager, a department head, in school, a principal or a dean, or a company president. Visionary, great. And but leadership is not a position. Leadership is influence. Actually, John Maxwell, one of the world's he's one of the world's leading leadership experts. Famously, he said, leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. So that means if your actions inspire others, your colleagues, your friend, if that one inspire others, if your attitude motivates your team, if people trust your judgment, you are already leading. Even if your ID says administrative assistant, even you're the newest employee, even if you don't supervise anyone, Leadership is not found in your title. It is found in your behavior. Wow. Thank you, ma'am. Here's a scale up. I met lots of professional mentors. I learned a lot from them. Also from you, Mentor Oreo, and still learning. Thank you so much. Salamat po. Okay. So, my experience as an HR manager. Allow me to share a story from my experience. Um, one day, one day, one day, I had two employees being considered for promotions. So, employee A, let's just call them A and B. Employee A had been with the company longer. And then employee B had fewer years of service. Let's just say that. And then many people assume employee A would automatically be promoted because he's one of the tenured employee. But when we reviewed their performance, something became very clear. Employee B consistently volunteered for difficult projects, help new employees, suggested improvements, accepted feedbacks, and anything else? Stayed calm under pressure and solve problems before they became bigger issues. But meanwhile, employee A often said, "That's that's not my job. I'm just waiting for instructions. I've already done enough. It's almost 5 o'clock." Stuff like that. Who do you think we promote? Okay. Of course, employee B. Because leadership is demonstrated through initiative, not tenure. One of the biggest myth is in our organization, they believe that seniority automatically equals leadership. It doesn't. In leadership, okay, leadership begins with ownership. One of the most valuable qualities employers look for is ownership. Ownership means treating the organization's goals as if they were your own. So imagine this. Imagine this. So a printer suddenly stops working. Don't call HR. A printer suddenly stops working. And there are two kinds of employees. Employee number one says, someone should fix that. It's not my job. And then employee number two says, let me see if I can help. So who demonstrate leadership? Good influence, guiding someone in correct. Commitment is important. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. So exactly, you're right. Leadership starts when you stop asking po. Okay. Leadership, it starts when you stop asking po. So, yung mga who's responsible, uh, and start asking, how can I contribute? Questions, clarifications? None. Thumbs up if you are still there. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. There. Leadership in office administration. Sometimes people underestimate office administration. They think administrative professionals simply answer calls. We thought, diba? They think they are just preparing documents. But in reality, office administrators are often the center of communication. They 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 coordinate departments. They support executives, organize operations, handle handle confidential information, and solve scheduling conflicts, manage priorities. If they fail, the organization feels it immediately. And if they succeed, everything runs smoothly and we didn't even notice them. That's leadership. Not because of authority, but because of responsibility. Let's go to leadership and emotional intelligence. Now, one of the strongest predictors of leadership success is emotional intelligence. We are often called this EQ. So psychologist, ano na daw? Psychologist Daniel Goleman identified five major components of emotional intelligence. It's self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, social skills. You think about this. Have you ever worked with someone who was technically brilliant, but impossible to work with? Have you experienced that? Maybe, maybe they became angry. Maybe they became angry easily, ignored others' opinion, refused feedback, and created conflict. But eventually, people avoided working with them. Technical skills maybe help you get hired, but emotional intelligence helps you become a leader. As HR professionals, we've seen this repeatedly. Many resignations are not because of salary. They it is because employees feel unheard, disrespected, or unsupported. Leadership begins by understanding people. And as a safety officer, I'd like I'd like to introduce another concept that became increasingly important in modern organizations. Um, Psychological safety. This term refers to a workplace where employees feel safe. They are feel to ask questions, admit mistakes, express ideas, and raise concerns without fear of embarrassment or retaliation. In another research led by organizational scholar Amy Edmondson, uh, this has shown that psychologically safe teams are more likely to learn, innovative, and solve problems effectively because people are willing to speak up instead of staying silent. You think about it. If employees are afraid to report mistakes, if they are afraid, mistakes become disasters. Disasters. If employees are afraid to ask questions, what will happen? Errors multiply, right? If employees are afraid to suggest improvements, what will happen? Innovation stops. Uh, Good leaders don't create fear. Good leaders create trust. So as a safety officer, we don't only protect employees from physical hazards. We also encourage a culture where communication, respect, and continuous improvement are part of everyday work. Let's go to servant leadership. Now, one of my favorite leadership module is servant leadership. It was introduced by Robert Greenleaf. So this philosophy teaches us that leaders exist to serve first po. Not to control, not to intimidate, not to not to prove they're superior. So their role is to help others succeed. Imagine two supervisors. One says, finish this because I'm your boss. So the other one says, how can I help you success? How can I help you succeed? So which leader would you willingly follow? Exactly. Authority may produce compliance. Service earns commitment. Let's go to situational leadership. Now, here's another leadership lesson. Not everyone needs the same type of leader. Some employees are new. They need guidance. Kakadating nga lang. Tapos bigla mo na. Di ba? They need guidance. Others are experienced. They need trust. So the situational leadership model developed by Paul Hersey, Paul Paul Hersey, and I forgot the last name. This one teaches that effective leaders adjust their leadership styles. This one based on the competence and commitment of the people they are leading. So you see, great leaders are flexible. They know when to teach, when to coach, when to support, and when to delegate. Leadership isn't about treating everyone the same. It's about giving people what they need to succeed. Correct. Servant leadership helps others grow. Okay. Now. Okay. My experience as a faculty member. As a faculty member, I have observed, let's just say something remarkable. Something students naturally become leaders, not because they're the loudest, not because they have the highest grades, but because they make others better. They encourage classmates, shares notes, not the exam. They help during group activities, take responsibilities when projects became difficult. Now, years later, those same students often become supervisors and managers. Leadership starts long before graduation. It starts with the habit or habits. Now, the leadership mirror. Let me ask you something. When people work with you, if they work with you, your colleagues, do they feel encouraged or exhausted? Do they become more motivated? You ask yourself. No. Or more encouraged? Your leadership is reflected in the people around you. Mark my word. So the best leaders don't create followers. They create future leaders. Okay. Now, next slide. I'm going. Okay. Okay. So welcome back, everyone. Now, I'd like to share. Okay. We're going. Okay, there. Okay, it stops. So now, I'd like to share one of my favorite concepts. Whenever I speak to students, employees, and professionals during my as a consultant or as a professor, I call it the elevator theory. The ele There's an elevator, right? So it's an elevator theory. Now, this is not a scientific theory. You won't find it in psychological textbook. This is just a simple analogy that helps explain why people who begin at the same point often end up in a different places in their lives and in their careers. So I use this analogy because after years of working in human resources, conducting interviews, teaching in higher education, and serving as a safety officer, I have noticed one pattern. People rarely fail because they lack opportunity. More often, they fail because of the decisions they make after opportunity arrives. Wait lang. Okay, let's okay. Let's go back to the elevator. Imagine an elevator. Now, I want everyone to close your eyes for just a moment. Imagine a tall building. You close your eyes. Imagine a tall building. It was 30 floors. One on the ground floor, 20 newly let's just say one on the ground floor, and then 20 newly hired employees step into the same elevator. And then they all wear the same company ID. They receive the same orientation. They earn almost the same salary. They begin on the same day. And the same. At that moment, everyone looks equal, right? Okay. Now, imagine the elevator begins to move. The doors open. Someone gets off on the third floor, another chooses the fifth, someone else reaches the 10th floor, a few continue all the way to the 20th floor, and perhaps one eventually reaches the top. Now, here's the question. Did the elevator decide where they would stop? Of course, no. Each person decided which button to press. Your career works exactly the same. The first floor comfort zone, let's just say the first floor, the one with the, what was that? The one with a lot of people with the one with the table. Ano nga ba yun? Okay. Uh, some people enter the workplace and immediately become comfortable. They learn only the minimum. They avoid challenges. They resist change. When new software is introduced, they complain. When training is offered, they decline. You see, as a faculty member, I often remind my students, learning begins the moment you become slightly uncomfortable. If every day feels exactly the same, your career may not be moving. Okay. Fifth floor, continuously learning. Now, let's move higher. The people who reach the fifth floor are different. They attend seminars, earn certifications, read books, ask questions, volunteer for projects. They understand something very important. Learning doesn't end after graduation. In HR, I often receive resumes from applicants. One applicant graduated 10 years ago but has no attended. He or she doesn't have attended a single training ever since. Another graduated only 3 years ago but has completed several certifications, joined webinars, learned new software, and built professional portfolio. Who appears more prepared for today's workplace? So the second applicant, because employers don't only evaluate your past, they evaluate your willingness to grow. Okay, let's go to the 15th floor. That's relationships. Let me ask you something. Have you ever heard the saying, your network is your net worth? There's truth in that. Throughout my career, many speaking engagements, consultancy opportunities, and professional collaborations, it came because someone remembered my work, even here in Scale Up. My professionalism, or how I treated people, not because I asked for favor, but because relationships were built on trust. Office administration, office ad professionals interact with executives, clients, visitors, suppliers, faculty members, students, and colleagues every single day. Every interaction, those interactions either strengthens or weaken your professional reputation. And remember, people may forget what you said, but they rarely they rarely forget how you made them feel. Okay, now let's go. Okay, let's go to psych. Question. Do you have questions, clarifications? None. Okay. Okay. So let's go to psychology behind the elevator theory. Let's connect this to psychology. There is a concept called self-efficacy. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but introduced by psychologists. what was the name of that? Albert Bandura. Okay, so self-efficacy is your belief that you can successfully perform a task or overcome a challenge. You see, people with high self-efficacy don't believe they know everything. They believe they can learn everything. That's the difference. Let's go to the Peter principle. Now, let me introduce another interesting theory. This is called Peter principle, proposed by Lawrence Peter. Now, I suggest that this thing suggests that, how should I say this? People are something promoted. They are sometimes promoted. They are sometimes promoted until they reach a position where they are no longer competent. Because I mean, not because they are incapable, but because they stop developing. Think about that. Promotion without preparation becomes frustration. This is why professional development must continue after every promotion. You never assume you've already arrived. The higher you go, the more you need to learn. Now, as a safety officer perspective, this analogy also reminds me, this one reminds me of safety culture. Organizations don't suddenly become safe. Safety is built one decision at a time. Choosing to report hazards, following procedures, learning from incidents, picking up when something feels wrong. Career growth is similar. Success isn't created by one giant decision. It's created by hundreds of small decisions repeatedly, consistently. It was repeated consistently. In my personal journey, if you look at my own career, I didn't become a faculty member overnight. I didn't become an HR practitioner overnight. I didn't become a safety officer overnight. I didn't become a speaker overnight. Every certification, you see, all of those required sacrifices. Okay, questions. You have questions, clarifications? Okay, now remember that whenever you compare yourself with someone else, with someone else's success, you're seeing their highlight, not their journey. Okay, let's go back to the elevator's theory. The elevator, the elevator, and the wrong passengers. Before we end this module, let me add one final lesson. Just this module. Sometimes people inside your elevator will tell you, you will relate on. They will tell you, don't work too hard. Why attend another seminar? Why you're doing too much? Relax. Ret, tama na, uwi na tayo. Something like that. You're making, you're making us look bad. Not everyone riding with you wants to go higher. Remember that. Some are comfortable staying where they are. Which is that doesn't mean you have to stay. It depends on you. That doesn't mean you have to stay with them. You surround yourself with people who celebrate your growth, not those who feel threatened by it. You choose mentors who challenge you. You choose friends who inspire you. Choose colleagues who encourage excellence. Because the people around you influence the direction of your career. Questions, clarifications? None so far. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay. Now, the mindset. Now, we're going to discuss something that many people overlook. So you see, your greatest competition is not another employee. It's not your compare. It's not your friend. It is the conversation happening inside your mind. Because before success happens in your career, it first happens in your thinking. As an HR practitioner, I have met incredibly talented people who never reached their potential, not because they lack of ability, but because they doubted themselves. I've also met people who weren't the most naturally gifted, but because they believed they could improve, they eventually became supervisors, managers, entrepreneurs, and leaders. So today, let's understand the psychology uh, that behind career success. And let me ask you a simple question. How many of you ever thought, I'm not good enough? Di ko po kaya. Mahirap po. Stuff like that. Maybe someone else is more qualified po. I'm afraid I'll make a mistake. What if I fail? If you've ever thought all of those things, you're not alone. So psychology tells us that our thoughts shape our emotions. Our emotions influence our behaviors. And our behaviors determine our results. Imagine it like this. Thoughts became become it became actions. Actions became it becomes habits. Habits become character. Character shapes destiny. That's why protecting your mindset is just as important as improving your skills. Let's go to growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Earlier, we briefly introduced a concept of growth mindset developed by one of our psychologists. Now, let's explore it further. So, a person with fixed mindset believes I'm either talented or I'm not. It's like that. I'm just not good at public speaking. I'm not a leader. Technology isn't for me. But someone with growth mindset says, I'm not good at public speaking yet. I can learn. I can improve. With practice, I'll get better. The word yet changes everything. As a professor, I've seen students who struggled during the first presentations. Eventually, they became confident speakers. Why? Because they didn't let one bad experience define their future. Growth begins the moment you believe improvement is possible. The imposter syndrome. Now, let's discuss something that many professionals experience but rarely talk about. It's called imposter syndrome. I think you can relate with this. Imposter syndrome is the feeling that you don't deserve your success. Okay, you think maybe I was just lucky. Swerte lang po kasi. Stuff like that. Now, soon they'll realize I am not as capable as they think. I'm not qualified to be here. Just like that. Now, research shows that even highly accomplished professionals, including executives, professionals, physicians, and entrepreneurs, can experience those thoughts. So it's just normal. If sometimes you felt like that. I've experienced this too. Before some of my early speaking engagements, I wondered, will the audience find a value in what I have to share? Then I reminded myself, I wasn't there to impress people. I wasn't here to impress you. I was there to serve them. That shift changed everything. When you focus from proving yourself to helping others, confidence grows naturally. Questions, clarifications? Okay, so when we say emotional intelligence, earlier we discussed emotional intelligence in leadership. So let's connect this to career success. So psychology, Daniel Goleman, he emphasizes that the emotional intelligence includes self-awareness, self-regulation, and then motivation, empathy, and social skills. Imagine two employees. Both receive criticism from their supervisors. Criticism from their supervisors po. Criticism from their supervisors po. Criticism from their supervisors po. So employee A became defense. The employee A became defensive. And let's just say the other one, employee B, listens carefully, reflects, and then asks questions, and then improve. Who is more likely to succeed? Of course, it's employee B. Feedback is not an attack. It is information. One of the greatest career skills is learning how to receive constructive criticism without losing your confidence. Makes sense? Okay. Let's go to burnout. The silent career killer. Now, let's talk about something that affects professionals across every industry. This is burnout. So, actually, the World Health Organization, WHO, it recognizes burnout as an occupational phenomenon resulting from chronic workplace stress, and this one has not been successfully managed. Burnout isn't simply being tired. It often includes emotional exhaustion, reduced motivation, feeling detached from work, from what you are doing, declining performance. Now, many people think working longer hours automatically leads to success. Not necessarily. Productive without recovery eventually becomes exhaustion. And as a faculty member, I always remind my students that they need to rest. They need to rest. Rest is not laziness. Rest is preparation. Even your smartphone, even your iPhone needs charging. So do you. Okay. Let's go to mental health in the workplace. Now, here in the Philippines, also together with my experience, and also we have this thing in our Republic Act. If I am not mistaken, it's Republic Act 11036, also known as the Mental Health Act. This law, this one recognizes the importance of promoting mental health, protecting the rights of individuals, and improving access to mental health services. In the workplace, in the workplace, it reminds organization that you as an employee, your well-being is an important part of creating healthy and productive environment. Mental health is not just about avoiding illness. It's about maintaining emotional, psychological, and social well-being. As professionals, um, we should normalize asking for help when needed. It's just fine. You're going to ask for help. Supporting colleagues, managing stress in healthy ways. And I could say creating workplaces where people, if they will feel respected and valued. Okay. Motivation. Why do you work? Yes. Why do you work? Let's pause for a moment. Why do you work? Is it only for the salary? To support your family? Or to achieve your dreams? Or to make difference? Psychologist Abraham Maslow introduces the hierarchy of needs, suggesting that as our basic needs are met, we begin seeking belonging, esteem, and eventually self-actualization. It does desire to become the best version of ourselves. Another psychologist, Frederick Hesbert, he distinguished between factors that prevent dissatisfaction, such as salary and working conditions, and factors that truly motivate people. Ano yan? Such as achievement, recognition, responsibility, and growth. In other words, salary matters. Yes, we need salary. But purpose keeps people engaged. Now, next one. Okay. Let's go to the biggest myth of AI. Okay. Whenever I conduct seminars or I teach in my classes, someone always asks me, "Sir, will AI replace our jobs?" It's a valid question. Yes, it is. It is a valid question. Technology is advancing rapidly. Artificial intelligence can now write reports, summarize meetings. Even this one can they can do this. Schedule an appointment, analyze data, even answer emails. So naturally, people become anxious. But today, I want to change your perspective. The biggest myth about AI. Let's begin with one statement. AI is not your competition. The professional who knows how to use AI effectively is your competition. Let me repeat that. AI will not replace you. A person who knows how to work with AI may replace someone who refuses to learn it. Technology has always changed work. When computers were introduced, people feared typewriters would disappear. When email became popular, people thought offices would stop needing administrative professionals. When online meetings became common, especially pandemic, many believed face-to-face collaboration would end. But what happened? Jobs evolved, people adapted, and new opportunities emerged. The same thing happened today. Because AI cannot replace human value. Let's think about responsibilities of an office administration. Um, the one who's working in office ad professional. Managing confidential information, communicating with executives, coordinating meetings, showing empathy. Can AI perform some of those tasks? Yes. Can AI completely replace or can AI completely replace human judgment, emotional intelligence, and ethical decision making and trust? No. Technology processes information. People build relationships. And technology follows instructions. People make decisions. Technology provides answers. People pe- people ask meaningful questions. That is why your human skills remain your greatest advantage. So the future of office administration. Okay. Technology is not eliminating work. Technology is changing work. Routine tasks became automated. Higher value responsibilities become more important. This means office administration professionals will spend less time doing repetitive tasks. Now, they have more time solving problems, coordinating people, managing information, and supporting decisions. Now, regarding the digital skills every professional needs, let me ask everyone a question. If you were applying for a job tomorrow, would your digital skills impress your future employer? Today, every office admin professional should continuously improve in areas such as the Microsoft Excel, Word, PowerPoint, workspace, cloud storage, stuff like that, cyber security awareness, AI-assisted productivity tools, and most importantly, learning how to adapt whenever new technologies emerge. And remember, technology changes. Learning never goes out of style. Now, prompt engineering. This is a new workplace skill where something relatively new. Have you heard the term prompt engineering? It simply means learning how to ask AI the right question. Let's go to AI ethics and confidentiality. As office admin professionals, you often handle confidential documents, the employee records, contracts, financial reports, even meeting minutes. Just because AI can process information doesn't mean every document should be uploaded into public AI systems. As HR practitioner, we have an ethical responsibility to protect confidential information. Always follow your organization's data policy. Now, let's go to continuous learning in digital age. One of the greatest mistakes professionals make is believing I've already learned enough. Technology changes every year. Software updates. So if we stop learning, what will happen? We slowly become outdated. For Dole and future work, even as the workplaces become more digital, employers still have responsibility to provide safe and healthy working conditions. Appropriate training and support employees adapting to new technologies. Okay, last one, the human advantage. Before we end this module, let me ask you one final question. When a client is upset, who calms them? A machine? Or a compassionate professional? When a team is discouraged, who inspires them? Technology or a leader? I think that answers my. Now, let's go to last one. Okay. What does success really mean? Okay. Now, let me ask you something. If I ask everyone here, what does successful career look like? You might answer six-digit salary, owning a business. But those are wonderful goals. Now, someone receives promotions, but lose their families because they forgot their balance. Success without purpose is temporary. Success with integrity becomes legacy. Now, my journey. People often see the titles as a faculty, as an HR consultant, safety officer, a speaker. But very few people see all of the sacrifice behind those titles. My title, rejections, but uh, success is usually built during the days nobody is watching. If there's one lesson I've learned, uh, you never compare your chapter, uh, you never compare your one chapter to someone else chapter 2. Everyone has a different timeline. Focus on your growth. For the ethics, throughout my career in recruitment experience, I've seen applicants without outstanding resumes. And you remember this. Reputation is your resume. Long before anyone reads your resume. Okay. So let's go to the safe workplace. Okay. The workplace has a risk. Even in office. Here in the Philippines, of course, we are experiencing it. Employers must provide safe working conditions, appropriate training, and necessary protective measures. Let's go to psychological safety. Almost done. Okay. This one refers to an environment where people feel safe. They feel safe to speak, ask questions, admit mistakes, and share ideas without fear of humiliation or retaliation. For work-life integration, one lesson I've learned over the years is don't build a career to destroy the life you're trying to improve. Work hard. Absolutely. You study. You earn certificate. Now, the legacy you leave. Imagine yourself retiring 30 years from now. People will not remember every report you submitted. They won't remember it. But they will remember how you treated people, how you solved the problems, and how you inspired others. Now, for the 3 investment, let me leave you with this lifelong investment. First one, invest in your competence. And second one, invest in your character. Lastly, invest in people. You have questions? Okay. Now, the most successful people are rarely those with the most impressive titles. They are the people others can trust. The people who continue learning even when no one is watching. Because someday your name will appear on someone's resume as a former supervisor, colleagues, mentor, or teacher. When that happens, what story your name tell? Will it speak of fear or inspiration? Will it speak authority or service? Will it speak of success or significance? You always remember this. As we leave this webinar, your job is what you do. Your career is what you build. But your legacy is who you become while building it. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your commitment to lifelong learning. Maraming salamat po at magandang gabi. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, admin.
Thank you so much po, Mentor, for sharing your insights and personal experiences for tonight. Sa ating participants here sa Zoom at sa ating Facebook page, live stream, meron pa po ba kayong katanungan kay Mentor or clarification para po masagot pa niya habang andito pa po siya, habang nandito pa po siya?
Natahimik sila sa lahat ng questions ko, sa lahat ng sinabi ko. Sorry.
Focus siguro sila, Mentor. Sumasagot naman yung iba dito.
Okay, puro thank you. Thank you po. Thank you. Thank you. I hope marami po kayong natutunan.
Meron pa po ba kayong clarifications, comments, or dagdag na insights sa ating topic for tonight? Yes, madami po. Yes, madami silang natutunan, Mentor. Sa ating certificate-related concerns, hihingi po kami ng another minute sa inyo para po ma-fill out ang ating evaluation form and attendance sheet for tonight. Knowledge without action is nothing. O, di ba? May natutunan ako kay Mentor. Pero marami yun, Mentor. Tinago ko lang. Dito po sa ating chat box, meron po ang links ng ating evaluation form and the attendance sheet. If nahihirapan kayong mag-scan ng ating QR codes, marireceive nyo po ang inyong certificates after you submit the evaluation form and the attendance sheet. I-prioritize po namin yung nakasubmit na para fair po lahat. Na makakatanggap naman po lahat. We value your personal experience or your honest review sa ating webinar for tonight. Para sa ating evaluation at sa ating growth as a training development. Pakisubmit na lang po sa ating evaluation form and the attendance sheet sa ating participants sa ating Facebook Live. Isesend din po namin ang links para po makasubmit rin kayo ng ating forms. Save nyo lang po ang ating links na nasa chat box para po hindi kayo mahirapan na mag-fill out. And we're inviting everyone sa ating August webinars list. Sa ating darating na August 12, meron tayong Education 109 about the webinar on special education and learning support. Sa ating August 17 naman is the Operations Management 112 about the webinar on workplace, safety, and operational compliance. Sa ating Administrative 112, for the August 20 will be our webinar on administrative ethics and professional conduct. And sa ating August 22 naman is ating Human Resource 112, the webinar on employee onboarding and offboarding process. And for the Information Technology 105, that will be on August 26, webinar on cyber security. And for the August 29 will be the Marketing 107, the webinar on customer relationship management or the CRM and marketing. Sana po ay magpatuloy kayong sumuporta sa ating Scale Up Training and Development and inaasahan po ang lahat na makilahok sa ating upcoming webinars. If hindi, Ma'am Canlas, if hindi po mas-scan, try po ninyo ang ating links na nasa ating comment box, sa ating chat box. Here, kindly save na lang po sa ating links para hindi kayo mahirapan sa ating pag-fill out ng mga forms. And thank you so much po sa pag-invest ng another Saturday night with us here sa Scale Up. Thank you so much, Mentor Oreo, sa inyong discussion for tonight. And hoping to see you for another webinar series na naman po. And thank you so much, everyone. I think wala na pong questions or clarification. Meron pa po ba? Comment lang po kayo sa ating chat box. Nakuha niyo po ba ang ating QR codes or the links para sa ating evaluation form and the attendance sheet? Thank you so much po. And we're hoping to see you for another webinar series na naman. And always remember, we are your Scale Up partner. Thank you so much, everyone. And we're now ending the session for tonight. Have a great evening po sa lahat. Thank you so much and assalamualaikum.